Welcome to the City Center Podcast. I'm Jerry Marcello. The summer heat is fading, and West Palm Beach is ready for another wonderful winter season. The return of the West Palm Beach Greenmarket serves as the opening act for fall and winter, and the event is jam-packed with new vendors, new features, and delicious new foods. We'll take a look at what may be the biggest and best green market ever. That's next on the City Center Podcast from West Palm Beach. And joining us now is Angela Poco, who is the city's marketing community events manager. Angela, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
Let's start with a very basic question. Some people think that a green market is nothing but a place for buying greens. Is that the case?
They have never been to the West Palm Beach Greenmarket then. So ironically, our green market, we try to stay true to what a European green market model looks like. So you won't find a lot of tchotchkes and things that are like store-bought that you can pick up anywhere. We have produce, which of course, we always focus on our farmer, our growers. That's our number one attraction that we want to be able to make sure we accommodate. But we have cafes and we have beverage vendors, and we introduced a new category this year called health and wellness because we realize that as we are growing as adults and we're evolving, that our market needed to change a little bit. And we recognize that health and wellness is such a huge thing amongst people right now. So we added a health and wellness category. And so this is the first year we're kicking that off as well. But again, all natural products. We're looking for those little businesses that have that niche, the greatest out of the greatest. And that's what makes our market just a little bit different than some other markets that might be out there.
And I think one of the things that really makes our green market different than others is the sheer volume of vendors that you have. How many do you have for this year?
So I always like by saying this, I don't know if people realize that our market is judge and juried. So
it's not like you just sign up and you show up.
No. Other markets, you put your application in and they take you. Our market is different, and we pride ourselves on that. We had over 900 applications for this green market. Of those, we did a deep dive, took out the ones that we didn't feel fit any of our categories, and they just weren't one of the categories. And then from there, we had 400 viable applicants. It takes 5 days to judge those vendors. Everybody comes in. It's a peer judge panel. So we ask a lot of our volunteers that come in and judge these things, but they're experts in their field, whether that's marketing, they're a chef, they own a small business, they own they do events, they volunteer at events, but they're experts in their industry, so that when they're coming in, they're judging these people based on what they know to be true. So you have to really bring your game to get into this market. And, that's first and foremost. And when you ask me how many people, this is the most we've ever taken.
Wow.
We started with 150 vendors, and that's just core vendors. So if you were down there, you saw the footprint expansion, really spectacular. Was so happy with opening day. But more to that, we also created a Sprouts program this year. So when we were going through the judge process, there were so many amazing vendors that came through, but they just didn't have the market experience. They were just getting their teeth, just cutting their teeth in their business, and they had a spectacular product and they judged really well.
Yeah.
So we thought the Sprouts program would be a great add-on. Again, when you look at what our city's doing right now, it's developing at such a huge rate, but it's developing in a unique way. And the mayor has a Jumpstart program, which is phenomenal. So we kind of borrowed his model, and we were like, hey, we can do this with the Sprouts program. We want to be able to give them the tools that if they want to register to be a small business, we can help them get through that. If maybe they want the opportunity to be able to learn more about social media and what's working for them in marketing, or they can't keep up with the sheer volume of our market, we're going to allow them to come once or twice a month versus having to be there every week. So it gives them the chance to break into a market, but without the full pressure of, oh my goodness, I have to keep up with this supply and demand every single week. So we're trying to set an expectation that's realistic for them so that they can be successful.
To use a sports analogy, it's sort of like a junior league. It's a
Absolutely.
a little league, or the minor leagues, as it were, in baseball. So that's really neat. You have the ability to have folks come in, learn the ropes from
Absolutely.
you and from other people who have been involved in the process for a long period of time, and therefore you're actually spurring growth in local business.
Absolutely. And we're hoping that, again, everybody always hopes that their business becomes something.
Yeah.
And as they're starting as these micro businesses, they're really entrepreneurs that are trying to figure out where they fit in the market. And just like so many of our vendors in the past, they become brick and mortar, but they'll all tell you, oh, I got my start at the West Palm Beach Green Market, and then they go on to do these amazing things. And for us, that's the ultimate testament.
Mhm.
If you've done something, you've done it successful, we're sad to watch you go, but we completely understand, and we want nothing more than for them to be successful.
That's really amazing. So once again, we're dealing with hundreds of vendors, perhaps on any particular Saturday.
Yeah.
Is everybody down on the waterfront? Where is
So we take up basically 2 blocks, from the waterfront
right,
Flagler to the 200 block, through the 200 block, and we're on Olive.
right up the street? Oh,
Right
wow.
up the street, yeah.
Okay.
So, we put roughly between our sponsors and our sprouts and our regular vendors, we could be in excess of 170 vendors out there, which is pretty impressive, I think.
Very impressive. Well, I'm going back to earlier conversations that we've had dealing with the very origin of the green market when you were in the parking lot of the city hall.
13 vendors we started with.
13 vendors
Yeah.
was all you had. And now look at what's happening. Obviously, we have a formula that works, and it's something that is really interesting for the folks to come and visit and take part in during season. Um, so we talked a little bit about how these vendors are learning their craft
Mhm.
as they go forward, and that some do move on. Do we feel that we are going to be seeing even more vendors taking a leap and actually opening up their own brick and mortars?
Well, I mean, we hope so. Ultimately, like, just in these past few years, a couple of our primary vendors that we absolutely love have opened brick and mortar. Um, Olive Oil of the World, he opened a brick and mortar. Bread by Johnny opened, actually, I think he's on his second brick and mortar. So, like, watching them grow and expand, it's amazing to watch that happen. Palm Beach Salt's another one. They opened a brick and mortar just recently. New York Roll Up, Brighton Northwood, and some of these are staying in West Palm, and we love that. So,
That's right.
that's pretty amazing.
One of the things is very clear, and it follows with a lot of things that the city does, is the city is adapting and changing its approach to things as times change and the city is growing and people are coming here. The green market has changed its path and its direction over the years and the decades. Where are we going now? Where do you want to take the green market as we move forward?
So, it's interesting when you say that because I'm one of those that looks at something and says, okay, yes, we're established. When we first moved over to the waterfront, we were 45 vendors. And then we would add on a little bit more. We would add on a little bit more. And each year I pushed the boundaries a little bit further. And, a couple years ago, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I want to do a Master Chef showcase. We've got so many talented chefs that are out here. People don't even realize that some of these businesses are chefs and that's how they started. I'm
Mm.
like, let's capture that. So we started with that. And then I'm like, okay, t- just to pause for a second. I'm like, I love plants. However, my plant skills might not be at the level to keep them sustained.
Not Your
So,
thumb isn't as green as you'd like.
yes. So then I was like, well, okay, why don't we use our vendors who are experts in these fields
Mm.
and start doing these workshops? Because our goal, we want to keep people down in West Palm Beach.
Right.
We want to keep them down. We want them in the shops. We want them shopping with our merchants, like not just the market, but we want them to come play and stay.
Right.
There's so much to do downtown. So I was like, okay, a lot of people before were just running and grabbing what they wanted from the market and leaving. And I'm like, how do we keep them here a little bit longer? So that's just evolved into all sorts of fun, really neat things to do. But like, you can learn how to do a flower arrangement.
Mhm.
Or we opened up with a wine tasting. So you got to sample different cheeses from the market vendors, and then you could go shop at the pop-up wine shop that we have too. So it's like we're giving people opportunities to do or learn different things. We're going on to the health and wellness component of it. And now we're going to be working with some of the studios that are downtown. And a lot of people come from those studios, or they don't even know that they're there, but they will soon because they're going to be doing a class downtown. And then we're going to pair that up with like a field of greens afterwards. That's going to give them a drink.
Mhm.
So you're going to be able to take a Pilates class, experience amazing experience from a West Palm Beach vendor like that has a brick and mortar that you might not know is there, and then walk away with something, of a walk away from a vendor. So, and you're going to pay $10 for that.
Mhm.
So those classes are filling up quickly, and
Sure.
it's just amazing that you can do that. And then you can just sit and shop at the market afterwards and experience all the rest of the vendors.
Just on that little point, how do people sign up or how do they register for your events?
Sure. So the easiest way is wpb.org/green market.
Ah,
On our landing page for the Green Market, you can click a link and it takes you right to Eventbrite. So right now, all those classes live on Eventbrite, and they range in, like, there's a pumpkin painting. I think it's $5. They range from $5 on up to 35, depending on what it is you're making. But there are some incredible classes coming up, and I'm excited because I'm even going to take a few practice up because you can do a paint and sip, and
sure.
there's just I cannot say enough things about the programming that's happening down there.
That's really neat. And the other thing too, which I really love about the green market is the vibe down there. And the people are truly cool and friendly and relaxed and everybody's got their dogs. And I mean,
Dogs, kids.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's having a really
It's
great time.
it's interesting, and it took me a long time to sit and try to figure it out, like, what is it? And it's just been, like, in the last 3 to 4 years, the explosion, and I would say probably after COVID, but it was like, what is it? Why do so many people wanna be there?
Yeah.
And it really is, like, it's a place to be, and it's the place to be seen, and you watch these people gather with their friends,
Yeah.
or they're bringing their whole family down, whether that's your family with your pets, your family with your kids, your parents, but they're bringing them down there to be part of an experience. And it's just so nice to just watch people sitting in the great lawn,
Yeah.
enjoying the music, or taking a workshop, or just the shopping. Like, for me, the shopping is just incredible. My husband cringes sometimes because he's like, "Are you going to the market to work, or are you going to the market to shop?" And I'm like, "Maybe both." Um, but like, there's just so much to do,
Yeah.
and we've got extended hours, so we're 8:30 to 1:30 now.
Oh,
We really did want to make sure that it's a safe environment, so the road closures help with that, keeps people protected there. So I think people are just overall happy that they can get out, walk to something, get some exercise, shop, and just take in our amazing waterfront vibe.
totally. It's the vibe is wonderful. The relaxation is great. And you really get a chance to step out into South Florida at its very best and
And
really enjoy stuff.
our vendors are the best of the best.
Yeah.
So, like, there is something for everyone there. So, like, if you're, gluten free, we've got you covered. If you're a vegan, we've got that too. So, like, literally, if you go down there, you will find at least one place that you want to shop at.
All right, I know we got people hooked, and there's a lot of people who haven't been to the green market. Let's give them a list of the most important tips to make sure you get the most out of the event.
Absolutely. So I always, I'm a planner by nature. So if you're coming out for the first time, plan. Our market brings roughly about 20,000 people down on a given Saturday. And that sounds like a big overwhelming number, but remember, you have blocks of shopping because we do butt right up against the antique and flea, which is another 2 blocks of shopping.
Mhm.
So I always say get there early. The garages that are further away there's 3 city garages that we have that are free parking from 8:30 to 1:30. So plan to get there early. Get there, park, walk. And And the thing is you can shop while you walk. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. And if you really need to be in an up close vendor, garage that's closer to the vendors, then you've got two other options. But the city garages, they work.
Yeah.
Just know where you're going and understand that there are road closures. So give yourself a little bit of time and just know that when you get there, it's all going to be worth it.
Do I have to worry about feeding the kids before I head on out, or is there stuff on site?
No way. Like you,
Okay.
you want to talk about the melting pot of things to eat, and you cannot go wrong. Bring a cooler bag,
Right.
bring shopping bags, so that you're more sustainable. But you can literally have breakfast, shop the whole day, have lunch, or heck, you can even grab lunch at one of the restaurants if you're like, okay, I'm marketed myself out. But there are breakfast options, brunch options, lunch options,
Yeah.
take home options. But if you walk away from our market hungry, you have done something wrong.
Some markets you get there, you can walk around. They're wonderful markets, but you're done in half an hour. That's not the case here.
No, I don't know that you can successfully see everything that we have in one trip. And I think that's one of the things that's so unique about our market. People have their favorites and they go, and that's great.
Yeah.
But then they see something, and they're like, oh, okay. And so then they have a new favorite. So I always encourage people, don't go in there with blinders on thinking I'm going for one thing. Be open and look at the markets as you go along. And soon we're going to have a great interactive map that you can actually, we've done something new this year with booth numbers. So if you see on Instagram, people are yelling, see me at booth, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, we'll find them.
They'll be able to find them,
Right.
but they'll be able to also, from that map, they'll be able to get a description of what it is that they're selling and then the location of where they are. So helpful for that too. So, and it's like I said, it's just an amazing experience, and, take a chance, come down and
Absolutely. And as part of what you've been talking about with changing out vendors, it's never the same. Every week it's different. There's new things to discover. So
so that
multiple visits make sense.
it is. And the great thing with us is we used to do the judging every year and we stopped that. We started giving people 2 years because by the time they get the hang of things, our market's over.
Yeah.
One other great thing, we did extend it out through May this year.
Oh,
So our vendors were happy. People seem to be happy.
Okay.
So we gave them one more month to shop.
nice.
But they're there for 2 years, unless something happens, but that's great. And we also put one more thing into place that I do want to touch base on.
Yeah.
We recognize some of our vendors have been with us since the inception of the market. We've had a couple of them that are hanging in right with us. So we decided that after 15 years, you're pretty much vetted in our market and you know what you're doing and you've got it down to a science. So this year we introduced legacy vendors. And we have 14 of them that no longer have to go through the judging process. As long as they want to be part of our market, we're happy to have them. So they will be here as they grow, we grow. And that's pretty spectacular too.
Continuing family of vendors who are comfortable and know what
Yep,
folks want.
yep. And again, they're staples in our market. And what makes our market so amazing is our vendors.
Right.
I could try to say it's all the programming, it's all the extra stuff, but the bottom line is when you have the best of the best out there, and we do, why would you not want to come to something like that? So
So the upshot is we bring the kids, bring the dogs
bring the dog on a leash.
on a leash. Yeah, they got to be on a leash, but bring the dogs because we'd be down there and you could almost do a story about just the dogs and their
I love
interactions
it.
and they're hanging out,
Yep.
and it's fantastic. So it is a relaxing, fantastic day of just enjoying beautiful weather, beautiful food, wonderful vendors, and just everyone is having a great time.
Everyone's is so pleasant. Like, when you're walking around and you're thinking, oh my gosh, all those people. But the thing is people get it. There's lines. Like you'll wait in a line, maybe one more longer than the other.
Right.
But I think it's all in the planning. If you know there's certain vendors that you want to get to them early, because I will tell you, I can't tell you how many vendors I heard on Saturday said I sold out. And I'm like, what? I sold out. And I'm like, okay, so you now know next time, bring more of your product.
Sure.
But like if you've got a plan and then once you've got your core things checked off your list, then just sit and explore. Take one street, do another, do the middle, get the rest of them,
Right.
and you're going to find so many hidden gems that you didn't even know existed.
So one more time, where can people find out information about what's going on?
Absolutely. So WPB.org/greenmarket. And then our green market also has an Instagram, so they can follow us on Instagram.
Follow you on Instagram. All the good information and breaking news is there.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Angela, what you're doing is so important to the city. It is part of the city's personality. And
Well, it's easy to do. I will tell you, this event kind of does itself. Let me take that back. My staff works so hard, but it really is an event that I think everyone truly does love and appreciates.
well, especially for your staff. To both you and your staff, thank you for everything you do for the city.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. The City Center podcast is launching its second full year of video podcasts, and we've got a lot in store for 2026. So feel free to follow or subscribe to get the latest from the city of West Palm Beach. This has been a production of the City of West Palm Beach Communications Department. I'm Jerry Marcello, and we'll see you next time.